back at him. Little Sans high.
There we go. All right, lobster for the first one. One little baby and one for measuring.
So this guy lost his claw, but they can regenerate. He hasn't quite started yet, but he will. He'll start growing another claw right out of that spot there.
So you can see on this one.
Oh, that one.
There's a better example. See the little claws growing back.
Yeah.
So how do they lose it? Somebody bites
They rip them off.
They shed.
Yeah, they're not very nice to one another.
No.
Yeah,
They can unloose their legs and their antennae.
they can
back
lose
as well.
pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything,
Yeah, they'll grow everything back. Takes about a year. But yeah, so that's their little claw growing back.
This one's too little, so I'm gonna put him back.
So the pogies come in big schools and they just kind of use a big net to hoist them up. I'll take that one. Hand you the fresh one. Same thing. There's the fresh one. And just tie it up as high as you can on
Yeah,
the
back
bottom.
it off just a sec. Try to raise the bag all the way up so it's like touching the cleat like high as you can. Yeah, pull it up just like that. Perfect. And then everything hit the bait. And you can see they actually chew the fish right through the bag. But then eventually they're going to fall onto the floor of the trap. They'll start wandering around on the floor. It's going to become difficult for them to walk back out. So the easiest path for them is up the second ramp through the smaller hoop and into the back of the trap, and this is where they get stuck. But see this black slot and this orange slot? Those are measured escape vents that by law have to be a certain width. So the smaller lobsters, they can eat the bait for free and then just walk right out. Perfect. Socket right down to the edge of the back here where it hits the tail. That has to be at least 3 1/4 inches to keep it. On this measuring tool, the short side of the tool, from this point to this point, is exactly 3 1/4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook this behind the lobster's eye, pull it back so it's snug, and then we're gonna watch carefully to see where this point lands when we set it down. If that touches on the lobster's back long enough, if it touches below the back, it's too short. Recently molted its shell. And what that means is lobsters, the way they grow is they grow by shedding. So the lobster shell splits right down the back, the shell opens up and a softer shell emerges from underneath. It's usually about 15 to 20% bigger. So this lobster has already accomplished that this year. You can see how bright orange it is. And what Gretchen has, when she holds that up right next to this one in comparison, you see how that one's so much darker and more scuffed up? So this lobster is a hard shell lobster. This one hasn't grown yet this year. So we have to wait a whole nother year. This lobster won't grow that tiny little bit until 2025. This is like next year's crop.
So if you'd like to now, you just get the edible.
That's supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah, now this on the half the island, you guys will notice there's some yurts and some tent sites. So it's like a glamping site. Really cool place to come over and spend the night.
It's like Great Island.
Okay, round 2, guys. Each trap's going to be a different color. So green is like the standard color for the trap wire. These are going to be all blue. It's a little experiment to see if changing the color of the trap maybe will attract the lobster. There. Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's missing a claw, as you can see, but these guys can get about 3 to 4 times bigger than this. They are pretty docile on their backs. The other ones are kind of aggressive. And you can tell if it's a boy or a girl by its belly. See how it looks like almost like Washington Monument triangle straight down on its belly? That's a boy. If it came down more like the Taj Mahal, a little bit of a triangle, but it got fat through the middle, that's a girl. So this one.
Look at the seagull. He's ready. Look.
I just want to tell you a little bit more about why it's important to know how to tell the difference between males and females. So from the exterior, when you look down on them, they pretty much look the same. I'm holding a female, Sarah has a male. The female's tail is going to be a little wider so she can accommodate all those eggs underneath. And then when we go ahead and flip the lobster over, you're going to see they have these swimmerettes along their tail. The top side of swimmerettes is going to be different on the female versus the male. So the females are going to be soft and feathery and kind of form an egg shape.
And the male is more shell-like, almost like fingernail feeling. They're side by side, they're larger, and they have orange tips on the end.
So, yeah,
We'll come around and show you close up though.
so you can see the difference.
On a 5-pound female, they've counted up to 100,000 eggs.
How many of this
And
come
they'll
to like?
estimate less than 1%. Yeah.
That's
And she'll carry these around attached to her tail like this for 6 months to a year while the eggs mature. So every time we see one of these, we want to mark her as like a proven breeder, so to protect her. So what we do is we take something sharp and we leave a scar on the second tail flipper from the right. See how there's a little notch taken out of that flipper right there? So she's been caught before by another lobsterman. Lobsterman leaves that scar, and that lets everybody know she's a proven breeder. If she's got any sort of mutilation on this flipper, she goes back no matter what. But that started off as a gentleman's agreement, but it became state law in Maine back in 1933. So we've been doing that for almost 100 years. Make sense? Okay. Everybody back there.